Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Pulkit.
Morning, Pulkit. Yeah, Mr. Pulkit.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Nice to meet you again.
Sir, I'm also very privileged to meet you again after the lecture.
Yeah, that's good. And shall we go ahead, say? And I have done is biodata. So some of you can be already have done the biodata. I don't want to dwell on that. I'll get into the subject. So meanwhile, you can have some look at biodata. Sir. And Pulkit, now there is a what do you call delimitation is going on in Kashmir. What is this delimitation process?
Sir, under the delimitation process by constitution, it has been mandated that from time to time we will be determining the area of the constituencies.
Yes.
So there is some rearrangement required because of the demographic changes that we might experience. So this is undertaken as part of this. And Jammu and Kashmir becomes a special case because after the 2019 amendment that
when is the next due for delimitation due?
Sir, it is said that until 2026 we will be having it by as per 1971 census, but rearrangement within the state could be made, and next they are looking after that.
Some developed states are going to face problem because their demography will go down, the total number of population. How such a situation can be managed?
Sir, I think in that case, something similar to what the Finance Commission had done. We can bring out a parameter whereby there is some incentive for states which have controlled their population. So some formula could be arrived in that respect also. So, and I'm not very clear how it can be accommodated in that, because by democratic principles, if we go for one person, one vote, somewhere we have to sacrifice on that. But being said, federalism also is an important aspect. So we can definitely work on that aspect also, sir.
What will be a solution as you think can be done for developed states? Particularly the southern and western states will suffer.
Sir, in that case, very difficult area to as such say. And I think they will have to work upon some formula around it. Maybe, I think, but we do not...
Any formula you can say, any procedure, any formula they adopt should not, penalize for development, for reducing their population, right?
Yes, sir.
To that extent, their political representation should not come down. These are the 2 points you can highlight. Well, what is happening in South Africa? Why is so much of arson looting taking place?
Sir, there are reports which suggest that they are targeting, the south of locals are targeting Indians. But I'm not sure that only the Indians are...
What is the provocation? You have to tell me what is the provocation. No?
Sorry, sir, I have not gone through the entire episode about it. Yeah. I've just read about superficially that something like this is happening there right now.
You can understand how this Mr. Zuma was, sentenced for 15 months of imprisonment for contempt of court, right? That led to arson and looting. Particularly, they are targeting Durban. Why I want you today? Nearly about 212 people, their casualties, and 2,000 arrests were made. Still, it is going unabated. So we have to keep abreast of what is happening around us. Fine. Now,
yes,
as regards the economics is concerned, we have been discussing inflationary trends. What is stagflation?
So the stagflation is a phenomena whereby we are having very high inflation, say about more than 50% or something like that. And at the same time, even the unemployment rate is also very high. Because conventionally speaking, when the inflation is high, the employment is also high. But in the situation of stagflation, both the problems are faced in terms of growth as well as inflation.
Sir, Santosh Babu, sir.
Pulkit, how's that? Congratulations, Pulkit, for coming this far. I think you should, perform so well that there'll be no question as to whether you'll get there or not. You are a mechanical engineer as far as I know. So you are obviously fond of cars. Now, your role is going to come down as mechanical engineer. Electrical engineers take over because of electrical vehicles. How do you see this shift happening?
So definitely the shift will be there in terms of the power generation that we are having. We will be having more from the semiconductor-based power generation rather than fuel-based power generation. But sir, at the same time, what I believe is the mechanical engineer's role will be still relevant because of the various mechanical systems that are involved in propulsion of a car.
Okay. You're aware of the quadrilateral that India is discussing with Japan and Australia. There's another quad that's happening on the sidelines of the SEO meeting that's happening at Tashkent. Can you explain that? How strategic it is to the interests of India?
Sir, the other quad is with respect to the issue that we are having around Afghanistan after the coming out of US forces. So what they were predicting, it is unfortunately coming out true. So the other quadrilateral dialogue is concerned with respect to situation in Afghanistan. And the traditional quad is with respect to the cooperation that we are seeing among USA, India, Japan, and Australia.
Okay. What are your hobbies?
Sir, my hobby is making animation videos, the whiteboard animation videos, and I have keen interest in agroforestry as well.
Okay. In animation videos, Hollywood uses a lot of animation, right? In its fight scenes and other things. How far is India ahead or behind in terms of this technology? Why is it that our animators are not being used in the foreign films and blockbusters, etc.? Where do we stand?
Yes, sir. Definitely, if we talk in terms of higher scale, we are definitely lagging because of the kind of infrastructure, the studios that are required around it. We are missing on that. But we do also have a silver lining in terms of new ventures coming up, especially in terms of, we can see in the cartoons for the children, we do have something coming up there. And moreover, recently using softwares, people have started creating them. Using especially the whiteboard explainer videos, the apps that come. And sir, I'm also working on using them only so that I can present my idea. It is not very, very highly ordered animation software, but they do help in terms of conveying better vis-a-vis the prevailing situation.
Okay, we have the concept of work from home, especially because of the pandemic, right? Do you think, can you visualize a government working from home?
Sir, very difficult for me to visualize it because if we talk about government's functioning, its contact with public is very essential part of it. And then apart from this, even in terms of cyber security, it will be immensely challenging because one very important factor we miss out in cyber security is the role that the devices of an individual plays in this part. So it will be very difficult in terms of providing a network which will make this thing secured. So government has this additional challenge if it wants to shift to work from home.
Thank you. Thank you, Pulkit.
Thank you, sir.
Madam, Professor Ranjit.
Congratulations, Pulkit, for making it to this level, and I'm sure you will take it further. Pulkit, what's your understanding about the reservation policy of our country? Especially, can you explain what is protective discrimination?
Sir, about the reservation policy, historically, we were focusing on social and educational backwardness. But recently, we have also started focusing on economy as a basis whereby an individual might be constrained, whereby he is not able to attain the maximum potential that he has. And so this is the philosophy on which we are extending our reservation, sir.
Professor Ranjit, I think it's...
Yeah, there's some problem.
Professor Ranjit, you can go ahead.
Professor Ranjit?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Am I audible?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah, you
sir,
are
yes,
audible.
sir.
Am I audible?
Very
You are
clear.
audible, but often there is a break. Yeah, please go
Yeah,
ahead.
there was a small problem.
Yeah.
Okay. So you are a mechanical engineer by profession, and you have also studied in IIT. What do you think would be the role of digitalization of records in the governance of our country?
Sir, it will help significantly in terms of data management, and especially if we talk about fields like land records, then also in terms of maintaining the health records. The health records will definitely help in terms of better public health systems. And sir, in terms of education also, it will be immensely helpful if we go about it. Although digitization might not help directly in terms of improving governance, but it will definitely help in terms of data-led governance.
Thank you. I'll come again because of some Wi-Fi issues.
Okay, thank you.
Ma'am, Kalevani, ma'am.
Mr. Pulkit?
Good
Can you
afternoon,
hear
ma'am.
me? Yeah, you can hear
Yes, ma'am,
me.
I can. Yes, ma'am, I
Yeah.
can hear you, ma'am.
Yeah, very good. Your father has served in Indian Army, is it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So you must be aware of certain terminologies and practices in Army setup.
Yes, ma'am. I had lived in the cantonments, ma'am, during my childhood.
Okay. Okay. Our country has decided to buy a drone from another country. Do you know what it is, and then for what purpose it is going to be used?
Sorry, ma'am, I'm not exactly aware of which drone we are referring here.
It is called a Heron TP drone.
Okay, thank you,
Heron
ma'am.
TP drone to be purchased from Israel to be deployed in the LAC of Indo-China border.
Okay.
That's the recent.
Both for surveillance and for offensive.
Yes. Yeah. What do you know, or can you tell me where do we stand in higher education in India?
Ma'am, in terms of higher education, we do have certain institutions of excellence like the IITs and IIMs, and also ISC. But talking about overall, we do lack in terms of quality, especially in terms of state government institutions. And sir, ma'am, secondly, we are also seeing the emergence of private organized institutions in them, although it is helping in terms of improving the accessibility, but we still have something to look forward in terms of quality of education in these institutions. So ma'am, overall speaking, higher education has much to look up to, and much more needs to be done vis-a-vis what we are doing right now.
So in this condition, can you tell me whether there is a need for standardized tests for professional courses or any other course in higher education? Standardization.
Standardization will definitely help in terms of improving the quality or in terms of achieving the objectives. But ma'am, again, the challenge will be in terms of the freedom that one gives to the faculties in terms of designing their courses. So we might find some challenge in that respect. Otherwise, if we are able to go for standardization, it will definitely help in terms of improving the quality, particularly in the institutions coming from the state government or the private universities.
Okay. How do you differentiate job creation to match the job losses?
Ma'am, in that case, we will have to look into those areas which are emerging. Like with the emergence of gig economy, we need to definitely look into giving skills in the digital technology. Like we can have animators, we can have people who can work on softwares, who can work on infographics. So which can somehow overcome the job losses that we are seeing in terms of due to rise of automation. So we'll have to look into skilling in those areas which are becoming more popular and more relevant, so as to bridge this gap that we are experiencing in terms of job losses and job creation.
Yeah. Yesterday, our Prime Minister has said in the skilling area, he gave some suggestion. What was his observation?
Sorry, ma'am, I have not read the newspaper yet, today's newspaper.
Our youth should be continuously be skilled, upskilled, and continuous skilling is necessary to meet the global requirements. That's the latest observation.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
How do you integrate special children into the society?
Pardon me, ma'am, I could not hear the special.
No, integration of special children into society.
Inclusive.
Ma'am, I think in that case, we need to improve their accessibility in terms of, I think people are empathetic about their situation, but at the same time, they need to be made feel that they are not different from the others, and they can also build on their capabilities, and they can also achieve certain ambitions in their life. So this will be one area, I think, very essential part on which we need to work. And apart from this, we need to create the institutions which makes them more accessible, something on the lines of Sugame Bharat Abhiyan that we were having.
Okay. What are the issues faced by the MSMEs? And how do you MSMEs?
Biggest challenges in terms of availability of credit, and then the quality in their products and their relations with the customers. So these three areas I identify do be more crucial in terms of the success of an MSME.
What measures do you need to take?
I mean, in that case, I think, again, we should focus on their quality products. We need to have their skilling and training so that they can produce quality products which are recognized by the customers. And apart from this, we need to look on their input factors also in terms of more availability of credit and people who are willing to start this kind of organizations.
Can you comment on farmers' distress, agrarian distress?
The farmer distress, I think, is because of the rising input cost that we are having in agriculture. And at the same time, it is very sad that they are not able to get the remunerative price from the markets for their crops. So it's a reality because of which we are experiencing this agrarian distress.
And how do you combat this?
I mean, that I think we need to first have structural reforms in agriculture in terms of providing them inputs in terms of better irrigation facilities, better seeds, and better technologically advanced seeds and mechanization. And at the same time, reforming the market structure so that the benefits or what a customer is paying, more benefits goes to the farmer vis-a-vis the inefficiency in the supply chain that we are having right now.
Sir, Abraham sir, you can resume, sir.
Pulkit, you mentioned that your hobby is animation. So what do you think is the scope of intellectual property protection over animation or animated movies?
Sir, it's quite challenging in terms of when we go for IPR with softwares and related digital technologies, because it's very difficult to prove someone's uniqueness in that, because it's very easy for someone to twig these animated videos and twig the ideas and create something new out of it. So it becomes very challenging. But sir, at the same time, I believe something that we had seen in terms of copyrights also, initially it would have been a similar challenge. So that can also be overcome if we have better understanding about the tools that goes into making an animated video.
Good. Any comments on India's IP policy, intellectual property policy on an overall basis?
Sir, definitely we do have provisions after the Patents Act 1970 and its amendment, and even the IPR policy is also favoring innovation. But sir, still it's unfortunate that we need to look more into it in terms of the clearance time, and other aspects, making the innovators willing to come forward for claiming a patent. So these challenges still pertain, and I think we have to work more in this regard.
Your ideas about freedom of speech and expression in the internet. Is there any challenge?
Sir, I think
which our country is specifically facing?
Sir, I think the freedom is very essential, but at the same time, the reasonable restrictions under Article 19(2) also needs to be respected. And with digitalization and evolving of social media, we are having a very thin line between achieving the goals that we have in terms of national security and achieving public order, and at the same time extending this democratic right to the citizens. But definitely with proper regulations, we can work around it, like we had done with respect to newspapers and editorials earlier, or this can also be regulated in that way.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Madhavi? Madhavi, ma'am?
Pulkit.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Yes, Pulkit. What will you do when you are an administrator in your particular, in a rural area? What do you think are the current challenges in the rural area?
Ma'am, in rural areas, if we identify economically, the challenge are in terms of agriculture as a practice. And second is in terms of the essential needs of education and health. They also are having challenges in accessing them also. So if we have to look forward a solution in this regard, ma'am, I think we'll have to focus in these. And I think in this regard, the role of the panchayats and the SHGs or the NGOs become very crucial for the extension of the services of the government in these fields.
Thank you, sir.
Matt Pulkit, now I have another two questions. What is data principle and data fiduciary?
Sir, data fiduciary could be an organization like a company which is working on data and extracting a useful information from it. It could be a company or a firm, like suppose it gathers the data regarding the number of automobile sales and brings about a analysis.
It can be a government, it can be a company, who are handling the data of individuals called a data fiduciary, right? You didn't mention about data principle.
Sorry, sir, I'm not very
well aware. You and I are data principles. Whoever basic data are furnished, details are given. That's the data principle. To understand the data principle and data fiduciary. Well, now the data protection law is almost under process now. Maybe in this season it will come out. It is learned that children below 18, because all children below 18 will be considered children, they will be permitted to, access social media or OTT or digital media only with the parental control or with the parental permission. Is this provision practical or necessary?
Sir, practically it will be very challenging in terms of authenticating that all the access was under parental control whenever they were going for these. But I think it also becomes necessary from the aspect that such a child is very influential, and the content that we are having right now over internet, it's not curated to the needs of our children. He might be well off guarded by it. So we do have a definite challenge in this regard.
Yes, very good. And what is happening in Assam, there is a regulation for sale and consumption of beef. What is this regulation?
Sir, certain communities in certain areas, they do consume beef, particularly buffalo's beef. They do have food practices around it. But sir, we also, at the same time, it also affects the sentiment of others in this regard. So this controversy often erupts because of these cultural differences that we have seen.
Let us go through what is the regulation they have brought in. No beef sale, control around 5 kilometers of temple. No consumption or sale of beef in areas where at least minimum Hindus are living. It should not be. So you can tell them that it is quite likely to create unnecessary apprehension in the minds of people, because eating habits nobody can interfere with. It's a basic fundamental right? Okay, you make yourself, prepare yourself. Okay, it's now we come to the final feedback system. I've already given a feedback system in my earlier thing. I find you definitely you improved a lot when compared to last time. What I require is that you must be able, it is not a question answering merely whatever you want. It's the answer must be what is expected of from the people, right? They may be expecting a particular answer from you. Then, as I said, always the keywords and bullet points will always be helpful. When I talk about beef, you can straight away go, there is no point in talking about beef, buffalo or cow. And again, what the government says to prevent the cow slaughter, prevent the, what do you call, trafficking of cows from one area to another. So you can mention all those things in a bullet point. If you do that, it will be more useful to you. Otherwise, you are doing very good. And when is your day?
Sir, 27th August.
27. So you have sufficient time. So you can prepare more about it. Okay. Thank you. Wish you all the best. Now to
Thank you, sir.
Santosh Shah.
Pulkit, you didn't spend 15 minutes today for combing a hair or shaving. That was necessary, even if it's a mock interview. I feel that it's a bit disrespectful to the panelists that you're unkempt, which I feel very agitated about. We expect you to be direct. Yeah. No, you have to go to any interview, be it a mock interview, in a spick and span manner. That's one. I was disappointed, frankly, because you are from IIT. The expectations are much higher compared to any other candidate, because IITians really top the examination. In that sense, you were a bit, I wouldn't say that word. You were kind of, there was no fluctuations, there was no dynamism, there was no energy in any of your answers, which, for me, I feel that's very, very important. For no gesticulations, no nothing, no animated talk, nothing in it, which would inspire me. For me, it was a very uninspirational interview. I'm not trying to demotivate you. You have around 1 month time.
Sure, sir, sure.
And you need to really go after it, because, this is an interview of your life. You have to really, take it so seriously, not in terms of your knowledge, which has already been tested, in terms of your opinions, attitudes, etc. And this should be very reflective of you as a personality, right? That, I think, was very sorely missing. Madam asked a very, very relevant question, Kalevani Madam, is about disabilities. And the most important answer, I think she expected, was the Persons with Disability Act, which was recently the Parliament
2016.
So the Persons with Disability Act gives a lot of avenues for improvement of the lot of persons with disability. And you can't even use the word disabled person. That's why the person is first. Person is important. Person with disability. Disability doesn't come first. Please understand the nuance of this. This wording is very, very critical. Then for a couple of answers, and this is part of, again, of mannerism, which I want you to remove from your lexicon. In that case, when I'm asking you a question, you come out with an answer saying, in that case. I have never heard anybody answer like that. And it's very uncalled for. In that case means that's an argument, right? And here it's not an argument. Here is a straightforward answer, which but you're saying in that case. Then lots of times you have used the word unfortunate. It's very unfortunate that's happening. I seriously suggest that you remove that from your personality itself, because, you have to project a solution more than, dwelling on a problem. Of course, you say that there's a problem, but you have to dwell on a solution. For example, twice I asked a question on digitalization, and I think Professor Ranjit also asked something. You were found wanting in it. For example, I asked a question, can it be work from home? Why not work from home for government? Today with this technology, we are doing this from work from home, right? We are doing that. Why can't Prime Minister meet people on Zoom? Having said all that, still that personal touch is there for politicians. That's very important. But bureaucracy can work entirely from home, or entirely from where they. For example, I've been in the last 20 years worked mostly from outside my offices. I've been a principal secretary IT and used technology a lot. I have proved to the world that it's possible to work from home entirely, government. But politicians can't be like that. So government is about politicians and bureaucracy. So you can say that as far as bureaucracy is concerned, we can always work from home or work from anywhere in the world, anytime, anywhere governance. and this being used entirely always in Digital India and the National E-Governance Plan, right? That being the case, politicians obviously need to have the feel and touch, going and meeting people. And the other part is that when you go online, the politician may still want to write, put his finger, not his digital signature, but his physical signature, right? He would like to see the physical files. So those are the dichotomies that there are in the Digital India that we are seeing. And on the intellectual property area, I think the question was very deep. I think that was not answered properly. And on the beef part, the question Chairman Sir asked was, what is the issue? But you went after the sentiments, etc. So the intention of the question was you explain the problem and then say, okay, this is what's happening. This may lead to problems, etc. But I think you said, some communities, this may offend the sentiments of some communities, etc. I found it personally a lot wanting in that answer. Then what are the problems of the rural areas? You could have enlisted, 10 problems and spoken about 2-3 problems. So why I'm saying this, Pulakit, is because you are an IITian and much more is expected from you. You will, I'm sure, 100% get into the IAS. But if you can improve on all this, it'll be a lot more energy is needed. Personally, I found it a little uninspiring. And you have to be inspiring. You have to come out of the
sir.
Right?
Definitely.
God bless. God bless. God bless. You will do well.
Cheerful, be cheerful. You did not look very worried. Be cheerful.
Yeah.
Sir, Abraham, sir.
Nothing. There's nothing. You are full of information. You're full of knowledge. Nobody is testing your knowledge here. We want a very dynamic young personality. Any board.
Sure, sir. I'll work on that.
Yeah.
Good, Pulkit. I also agree totally with Santosh, sir. And what I wanted to say, sir, has actually said. So you just have more energy, add information. Like I asked on IP policy, you could have mentioned few important advantages or disadvantages of the policies and what is the policies which is now currently going on. Likewise, Chairman sir asked on beef. You could have also mentioned about, the legal issues which took place with regard to that particular aspect. So otherwise, as we all know, you will surely make it to the services. At the same time, to get better rank, you need to put little more effort.
Sure,
the best.
Thank you, sir.
Everybody, ma'am.
Yeah. All the best, Mr. Pulkit. You have done well. You throw some more weight on your voice so that you can be more, audible. Huh? And answer only to the point and also give your details on for and against. Don't give your personal opinion.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah.
Where there is needed, where there is asked for, you have to give personality.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. You'll do well.
Thank you.
Madhuri, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Madhuri, ma'am.
You have said it also.
Okay. So to sum up, we find you adequate, but you need to train up yourself a lot. Number one, don't look like a student. You are, as I said, you should speak like a civil servant. Whether you know the answer or not, speak like a civil servant. First, have the kind of confidence, face. And, as Santosh Babu rightly pointed out, many people may not like, mock session, you cannot take it easily because we don't take it easily. We prepare ourselves, we come forward. Like that, automatically the expectation from the other side also will be there. So kindly, even the mock session, kindly prepare yourself, prepare yourself. And particularly, we are not able to see your face, observe your reaction, because I always say it should be, a person, you should, when you are something asked about your your hobby, you should show how passionate you are with them, what made you to follow that, why you take up that extracurricular activities. You should not give kind of, straight line answers, where something should be unique for you. That you should explain, right? We do not know what attracted you towards that. I think with this, you are from the IIT background, IIT Kharagpur, I believe, I remember, isn't it? IIT Kharagpur?
No, sir, IIT BHU, sir.
Yeah, okay, very good, fine. So wish you all the best. You need to improve little, otherwise there is no problem. You have got a lot of knowledge. Presentation wise, you have to improve. Otherwise, no problem. Wish you all the best. Overall, we find you very adequate and wish you all. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
God bless.